How's it going? So, you will be amazed how important it is to play at the right time. I'm talking about the time of the day. So I put it into the guideline. So you want to play between 8 a.m., right, to 2 p.m. Well, to 2 o'clock, right? That's like the best time. The games are very, very easy. The teams are usually quite balanced, so they're not gonna be a little bit balanced because you're just gonna crush everyone, right? But I'm talking about where both teams have relatively equal skill, I suppose. Like both teams are gonna, it's gonna be like, I don't know, it just feels that it's easier to get into a queue where your teammates are decent. I just noticed, like, in the morning it happens. And also, do not play after, like, 22 you can kind of queue up for your last game, but after 23 is absolutely... Generally, you don't want to play, like, 22 is the cutoff, right? If your game starts at 22, it's fine. It's fine. But past that point, the more time you play, the worse it gets. Because I did an experiment. I lost 6 in a row at 2 a.m. basically. I played 1 a.m. to, it was, I think it was 2 weeks ago, I did an experiment. It was impossible to win a game. Impossible. It doesn't matter what account I logged into, it doesn't matter. It was just like, I don't know, it's just that at night there are so many Smurfs, and they always 5-man queue. And because you have very high KDA, what happens is the system puts you... It puts like 4 uncoordinated players on your team, and you have 5 players that are Smurfs against you. And it's just so difficult to win. It's like they're just gonna 5-man chase you around the map. Even if they're like gold, whatever, like I can see that they make a lot of mistakes when they play, but it becomes one of those games where like your team is just inting hard, and you are the only person on the team that can do anything. And the enemy team is just taking all the dragons, taking all the barons. You can sometimes kill 2 to 3 of enemy players, but you just bleed out the games, and that's it. It's just unwinnable. So until like the closer you get to this time, 2 a.m., it's like it becomes impossible basically. So basically play between 8 a.m. to 22, and that's it. Past that point, do something else. Maybe watch replays, I don't know, watch some league content, educational content, but do not play at night. Just don't play at night. It's very, very important to follow this rule. Okay. So that's the dodge skill. So dodge skill, I also perfected. It's very simple. You have 1 score for each one of your players. So for yourself, you put 5 points, right? Now, the reason you don't want to put 10, I tried 10, and you're giving too much credit to your team. We want to go as pessimistic as possible, because you're assuming that if, let's say, your top lane is going Garen against Garen, you're assuming that their Garen is going to be better than your Garen. Does that make sense? So let's say something like Sett versus Garen, it's a very equal matchup. Right, so you put 7 points, I would put 7 points for Garen, and depending on the player. Now, if you're, let's say, both are 50% win rate, I would put 5 for my player and 7 for Garen. Do you understand? Because the risk of Sett feeding Garen makes game very hard for me, and I'm assuming their Garen is going to be better. So we want to go as pessimistic as possible because we don't want to take any risk. Now this is a little bit subjective because it depends. If you are more of a risk taker, you can say, oh yeah, but Sett is equally as good as Garen, right? And my player is probably going to be better than Sett. Do you know what I'm saying? It's kind of like, I'm more of a pessimistic person. I prefer to cover all my angles and usually go with the worst case scenario. Now, obviously, if you look at the win rate of the guy, and his win rate is like 100% over 5 games, you know, I would put him as like 8 or 9 on my team. And Garen would still get 6. Do you know what I'm saying? So I know that, okay, I know for a fact that my player is going to be 8 and Garen is going to be 6. So based on that, I'm going to play. And the fact that I'm on a team, my team already gets 5 points, right? So again, you look at the jungler, enemy jungler is Volibear, so that's like 10. That's a problem. Volibear is a big problem for me, right? And my jungler is Kindred, okay? You look at Kindred, he is like 50% win rate, right? So Kindred as a champion sucks, right? And the player is a coin flip. So I would put 4 points. You know what I'm saying? So based on that, I'm thinking, I would honestly, at this stage, I would probably dodge because Kindred is just, I would probably go even 3 to her. Like, she's such a useless champ. Do you know what I'm saying? And then, okay, let's look at the mid. Let's say they pick something like, who would be like completely useless mid lane? Smolder. Right? They pick Smolder. That's like 0 point. That's like Omega good. I would even probably put like maybe -2 points. Because Smolder mid lane is like playing for me, effectively speaking, right? So I would go maybe, I don't know, minus 4 points. Well, -2 points. Or 0. Do you know what I'm saying? It's kind of like something like this, right? Then ADC, let's say, your ADC is Twitch, right? And you look at the player, and he has 68% win rate. So I would give him 8 points. You look at his KDA, let's say he's like exceptionally good. So you give him 8 points, right? Enemy ADC is Severe. Severe is just a completely useless champ. You know what I'm saying? So I'd give her, I don't know, 2. You know what I'm saying? So based on that, you can construct a model and you can see whether you should play or not. Right? And a lot of it will change depending on your champion, because Severe versus Tryndamere is dead end. She can't do anything against you, no matter what you do. Right? For some champs, Severe might be a problem. I don't know. Like Olaf, for example. Severe can just ult away, because she has a lot of move speed. But you can't really ult away Trinda that easily, because he has Ghost and he can slow. His slow is obnoxious. But what I'm saying is that this is very kind of subjective, but you get fundamentally, I don't know how to explain it, like, you want to ask yourself this one question: how useful is going to be your teammate? Basically, you give them the score on one criteria, which is how useful is he going to be. If the guy is like playing Master Yi, he has negative KDA and 0 win rate, as a jungler, you can put him as like -10, because he's effectively speaking Omega feeder, and he's gonna be playing for the enemy team. Do you understand? So like the range is like either 10, which is a faker, or -10, which is your Cho'Gath and Hecarim. Do you remember those guys? 0.5 win rate and like 17% win rate. It was just obnoxious shit, right? So you see, if you get 2 Hecarim and Cho'Gaths on your team, you simply cannot play. There's no way. Unless they have like Smolder, Vlad, Teemo, and your other team is just Smurfs. Then you can possibly consider playing. But you have to understand that you can't see the win rate of Teemo. You can't see the win rate of Smolder. Because Smolder could be like 90% win rate. He's going to be good. It's going to be very hard to kill him. Right? But these guys, 100% beyond shadow of doubt, guaranteed going to be Omega feeders and Omega useless. So I would not play even with 3 Smurfs on my team. Because I just bought 25 more accounts. I have 50 accounts. So I don't give a shit about running out of accounts at this stage. Honestly, I think I overbought, but because you see, I was running out of dodges because I dodged so much, and I started getting anxious, and I played some games that I shouldn't play because I was just like, oh, come on, I'm running out of dodges, so I need to play, right? I just have to play, and I started taking risks, but I was like, okay, so how can I solve this problem? I bought more accounts, and then that's it. I just can't run out of accounts. I mean, they're so cheap, it's like ridiculous. Like, I have 50 accounts, you know what I'm saying? Like, almost 50 accounts. Like, active right now are... How many active? 44. And I also have... How many in store? So there are 6 in here. 11 in here. And 3 in here. 14. So that's 14 plus 44. 58. So that's 58 accounts. You will not run out of accounts with this type of number. Honestly, even with 40, I don't think you're gonna run out of dodge, because there's just not enough time in the day to rotate. But you get the idea, right? This is a little bit subjective, but it gives you a kind of like how to analyze your team. So you just kind of like usefulness. Are they playing for you? Are they gonna be useful? How good is the player? Is his champion good? What is his KDA? And you can get a sense whether that person is going to be useful, or he's going to be Omega feeder and he's going to be playing for the enemy team. Right? And then you just construct a model, and then you can... And this will tell you whether you should play or not. And that's it. Alright? So, to sum it up, 2 updates on League of Carry. When you play is very important. Play between 8 AM to 2 is the best time. And absolutely under no circumstances do you play after 22. 23 is deadline. Completely do not play. Trust me when I tell you, do not play at night. One of the problems I had when I was like way back, when I was diamond level on season 4 or season 6, I don't remember what was it. And I noticed that when you play at night, it's complete fiesta. Complete fiesta. I don't know why that is. I can't really explain it. My take is that it's just Smurfs dual queuing versus people with... I saw a lot of people who are like, oh dude, I'm on drugs, oh I'm so high, blah blah blah. And I see it in chat. I still remember to this day. And I was like, holy shit, why is there so many junkies at night? And they're gonna be on your team versus Smurfs, do you know what I'm saying? So it's a problem, right? Okay. So that's this. And yeah. And analyzer, just construct your own model, but roughly that's the way it looks. Again, it's subjective. The points are very subjective. You know, you might think that Seth is OP champ relative to Garen. It's up to you. So basically, the better you get at this, the better your win rate. So you see, you're controlling 2 things. I mean, when you play is, I'm assuming you're just gonna do it, you know, not gonna play over. So all you have to do is control your dodge skill, which is how good are you at analyzing and roughly assessing your probability of winning, which is this. And then your individual skill, you basically have to watch replays, and then you... you watch the guides. Well, there are a lot of guides. I mean, you can just go online and be like, I don't know, ultimate guide to Talon, ultimate guide to whatever. Who would be Warwick? I'm telling you, Warwick is fantastic champion. Warwick is just absolutely amazing champion. He never seeks to amaze me how overpowered this champion is. I mean, he can go like 0-6 and I still struggle to kill him. Like, he's just so... And he's so good at dueling, so good at wave clearing, good at ganking. I'm telling you, for like beginner players, is just possibly the best champion I can think of. He's like just... Like, I can't think of anything bad about him, because he teaches you map awareness, he's good with wave clear, he has move speed so you can get around the map very quickly, he's very good at dueling, most of the time he wins most of the duels, so he has lifesteal so you don't run out of health. Fairly straightforward to play. I mean, amazing champion, absolutely amazing. Master Yi, I don't know, he's very inconsistent as a champion. You have to kind of have brains with Master Yi to play him. You really need to understand your limits. Because, like, you get some Master Yi, they're just so Omega, like he gets one item and it's like 12 kills by like 15 minutes. And some Master Yi, he gets like 2 items, he's still 0-6. It's just like you have to have brains, you have to understand the limits because he's so squishy. And Lilia, I mean, I don't see her a lot, but every time I see her, it's just obnoxious to deal with her. Very, very good champion as well. But I don't know, like, I would probably go, I don't know, Lilia... Can she really take Dragon on her own? That's the question. She's extremely effective in team fights, extremely. But can she take Dragon on her own? Like, Master Yi on 2 items can take Baron by himself. But Lilia... I don't know. Okay, there's Master Yi twice. Who else is, like, always shining? Now, there are some supporting champs, like Shen and Seth, they're always shining, but they're not carry champions. Like, they are... I love to have them on my team because I have a carry champion, and, like, they are just, like, making you OP to some extent. So, it's up to yourself, like, you need to find a champ that works for you, basically, right? And then, obviously, you watch your replays and you get better, you analyze your mistakes, and then that's about it. Yeah, so the final thing is analysis of your mistakes. So basically what I do is I watch the game, right, and then I say, okay, how many mistakes have I made, and then what was the game time. So let's say I made, I don't know, 5 mistakes, and then I have what's called mistakes per minute, like this. Mistakes per minute. Kind of looks like this. So let's say I made 3 mistakes, the game time was 22 minutes. So we take 22, we divide by, we take 22, we divide by this, right? Wait, what? Mistakes per minute. It has to be lower. Okay. So I made 2 mistakes in 22 minutes. Okay, yeah, it's 2 by 22. What am I doing? I'm trolling, basically. Yeah. Okay. And then in here I have what's called average. Like this. Okay, and here I have win-loss. Now this has nothing to do with League of Legends. Win-loss. If I made less mistakes than my average, I count it as a win. And if I make more mistakes, I count it as a loss. I don't know if you can do that, but okay. It's up to you. Like you can come up with your own system. Just anything that motivates you. Let's say I made 1 mistake, and the game time was 16 minutes. Okay, so we divide. We see. Okay, is this? That's my average. Is this lower than this? And then you say, okay, it is. So that's a win for me. This one doesn't count because that was the first game, naturally. So let's say I made 3 mistakes and game time was 25 minutes. Again. Yeah, you see? Well, you can honestly do this if you want. Is lower than average. So the way to calculate that is this smaller than your average. And then that's true. So that's a win. Again, is this smaller than your average? If it's true, false. You see, so that's a loss. Now you need to make sure that you don't keep, because this number is a variable. It's going to, oh my god, I'm using variable. People are going to get confused. So this number is going to change, so you have to manually do it in your head. You can calculate it somewhere externally like this. This divided by this. If it's false, it's a loss. If it's true, it's a win. Do you understand? Because the problem is, as you keep playing more games, this number keeps changing, so these values are gonna start being changed. Do you know what I'm saying? It's but you can come up with your own system. It's up to yourself. The main thing is you have to watch a replay. You have to do it. There's no other way to do it. You have to improve, right? And when you improve, you win more games, and because your dodge skill is good, it makes sense for you to kind of I'll go back to this. It's like one of the problems is when you play League of Legends, like we're splitting the game into two games. There is League of Legends and then there is League of Carry. When you're playing League of Legends, it is extremely frustrating to watch your replay because it doesn't feel like it's doing anything, because you cannot win the loser's queue. Doesn't matter how many. If you don't make enough, like it's too difficult and frustrating and emotionally scarring to win a loser's queue. Trying to win the loser's queue, right? So I'm saying, don't play loser's queue at all. Just don't do it, right? And you will get motivated to watch your replays, because the better you play, the higher the chances that you're going to win. And you can see, like, I mean, holy shit. I'll just show you one of my accounts. It's literally, I'm playing on it right now. Look. You see, 6-0. 12 KDA. That's because it's motivating to watch your replays and get better, because this skill that you're getting, right, transitions into results. Okay? But when you play in League of Legends, it's like a coin flip. You can play 20 kill Tryndamere all you like. You cannot win with Cho'Gath. Do you remember Cho'Gath and Hecarim? They were 0-5. You will not be able to win that game. Sometimes you have 4 of them on your team. You will not win the game. So you watch the replay, you watch the replay, you lose. You watch the replays, you lose. At some point you say, I'm sick and tired of this shit. You know what I'm saying? At what point am I going to win? At what point is this going to transition into something tangible, right? And that's what I'm saying, is that the problem is not you, it's your teammates. So you need to make sure that that problem is solved. And you solve it through Team Analyzer, through your dodge skill, right? And now you are extremely motivated to watch your replays, to watch the replays of other people, because you know in your head that it's going to 100% transition into good results and wins that you want. And it's motivating to do that, right? That's one of the problems I had with this system. Is like I was watching replays. It's like coaches like, yeah, you know, you need to see us here, dude. How will five extra creeps in that game help me from killing that 15 kills Draven on bot lane? How will that help me? How will me managing the wave correctly stop the enemy from taking all the dragons? Do you know what I'm saying? Because the problem is the teammates. If your teammates are dog shit, dodge the game. Do not play with them. It's demoralizing. It's psychologically scarring. It's tilting, because you don't lose the game. You lose the game for absolute reasons that are just so tilting, even just to think about it. Like we talked about in one of my videos about fogged game. Do you remember the fogged? Let me just find it. Yeah, so I'll link this in the description below. Like this, that video really explains. But I mean, even an AFK bot is better than some of your teammates, so you need to make sure you avoid them. Like, dodging shitty teammates is essential part of League of Legends. It's as important as an individual skill, because it affects your motivation and your mentality. The reason why people get omega tilted, omega angry, they are not having fun playing the video game, is because of the shitters inting your games. So you have to understand, League of Legends is a game where shitters are gonna enter games. So League of Carry is the game where you don't have the shitters on your team, because you filter them out. Just like poker players, they do not play all their hands, they fold 80% of the hands, because they only play what they can win, right? And it affects your mentality, it affects your motivation. You need to make sure that you do it, okay? A 400 HP dragon. Look, this is Emerald 3. This is not some iron bullshit. This is Emerald 3. Look. So I'm gonna play the video for you. Look, Skarner cannot smite. He can't press a button. Look. Like, are you shitting me?
Play for McCauley.
Look,
she
he
got
has smite. We can see that he has smite.
Out, right?
Now is the time to smite. In fact, he could have smited slightly earlier, because smite is 900 damage, right? True damage. Look. And looks just like takes the dragon. But I'll link this video in the description below so you can see for yourself. It's just like, do you understand, when you're trying to win the game and shit like that happens, you really, like, it's so dumb in a way that to lose a game because a dude cannot press a button. Do you understand? Like, it's so, just thinking about it, even so tilting. And it's not fun to play with them. That's another thing. I don't, like, I won some of the games with shitters on my team, but I, at this stage, do not want to play with them. I don't want to play with them. I want them to be on enemy team. I don't even want them to be in league, honestly. I don't know. If you're planning to not contribute to the team, play Fortnite. Play a single-player game. League is a 5-man game. I expect you to be somewhat productive. Do you know what I'm saying? Now, of course, people are going to say this is normals. I understand. It's fine. But, I mean, 21 games, 17 win Akali. I mean, look at these players. Like, at that point, at what point do you say, maybe this champion is not really good for you? Do you know what I'm saying? Do you know what I mean? Like, look, this was our bot lane. 30, like, 20 plus games, 1/3 they win. It's like, at what point do you say, okay, Draven, for this type of guy with his skill, is probably too difficult to play. Maybe he should play something like Twitch or something, Caitlyn, something that is easier to play, so he can be productive. Twitch, Trash is a difficult, he has a lot of skill shots, right? You have to have map awareness, he has no escape. You can play shit like Alistair, who is unkillable, immune to CC. He's a better version for a person of this skill level. He's like, nope, let me just carry on. Now, the problem you can't play ranked is because you can't see your teammates. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I wouldn't, it doesn't bother me whether I play normals or not. As long as I can see my teammates, it never bothered me. Like, it's just, and honestly, rank to me is like, irrelevant, you know? Oh my god. Anyway. So that's the skinny. So there are two skills basically. Again, we summarize two skills. You have the dodge skill. And then you have your individual skill. And that's it. Combine them together. You get positive results. And that's about it. Okay? Take care.